Back to follow-up segment tonight. You may remember that last week, General Keith Kerr asked the Republican candidates why they support the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. Because the general wasn't identified as a supporter of Hillary Clinton, CNN took some flack, and the network admitted it would not have used the question from the general if it had known about the Clinton connection. Joining us now from San Francisco is retired Brigadier General Keith Kerr. All right, let's walk through this. I understand you made a YouTube video of your question in September, and you sent it in, and then you get a call from CNN. When we call a guest like you, we debrief them and find out all of their connections. CNN never asked you if you were working for or had worked for any political candidate?
That's correct. And, Bill, I want to be entirely upfront and say that I should have made CNN aware of all my political affiliations.
Okay, but that's a nice thing to say, and you're a stand-up guy for saying it, but it's their job to know who they're putting on a national forum like a presidential debate. So they didn't ask you. Well, I'm not going to hammer them too bad. They didn't ask you, and you get a call, I guess a couple of weeks ago, come down to Florida, all expenses paid. Did they debrief you, or did they just take your question, decided you had a nice resume as a brigadier general, and bring it down? They ask you anything else?
No, they did not.
Okay.
They sent me a ticket, airline ticket, and a hotel about 4 days before they debriefed.
All right, so they bring you on in, and they don't really know your political connections. Now, they obviously made a mistake, and they admitted their mistake, so let's move ahead. All right, so now you get on national TV and you ask the question, which I believe, General, is a legitimate question. All right? It's a legitimate question. It should be asked. You asked it well. I got no problem with the question. I do have a problem, though, with your support of Hillary Clinton, because, remember, it was President Clinton that signed this into law, and Hillary Clinton opposes gay marriage. So if you're going to go after the Republicans, and you're obviously doing that in a fairly confrontational way, why wouldn't you do that to Senator Clinton?
Well, I saw the debate early in June with the Democrats, and when they asked them if they would repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell, they all raised their hands. And about a week later, the same question was asked to the Republican candidates, and they said the policy was working well. And I don't think it is working well.
All right, but Hillary Clinton's against gay marriage. Her husband signed Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and you're supporting her. Can you make it a little clearer as to why?
I haven't really decided whether I'm going to vote for her. Two friends called and said, hey, do you want to be on the steering committee? So I added my name to the list. And there must be 50, 75 names on.
All right, but as far as you're concerned, you're still evaluating her and her positions vis-a-vis.
Yes, I'm evaluating all the candidates.
Okay. Now, I just got back from Afghanistan, and when I was over there, I had to stay in the barracks at Bagram because there are no hotels out there. Very close quarters. As you know, I mean, you've been around, you're Brigadier General. Very close quarters. Most of the Army is traditional conservative people. Some of them are wary about gays, I think. And they tell me, these are the people who oppose openly gay expositions in the armed forces, it's better for morale if we just leave this thing as a personal matter, that we don't broadcast what people's proclivities are. And that seems to make sense to me. Where am I going wrong?
Well, younger people today don't seem to have the same attitudes. And the Zogby poll indicated that probably 70% of younger servicemen feel comfortable around gays. They know gay friends, gay entertainment figures, gay sports figures. They know gay pastors, gay parents. I think the attitudes have changed since the 1950s.
Well, you may be right about that, but the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, to me and to the commanders, they say, look, we don't have a morale problem here. It's fine. It works fine. Are they wrong?
But Bill, Don't Ask, Don't Tell degrades military readiness. We've thrown out 12,000 people since it was first enacted in 1993. As a matter of fact, there was a ceremony on the Washington Mall on Friday, and 29 admirals and generals wrote a letter to Congress to be presented this week saying that Don't Ask, Don't Tell should be repealed.
Okay. But you know that a lot of heterosexuals have been drummed out of the armed services for conduct also. But look, I respect your point of view, and I think it's more of a symbolic thing than a functional thing. But I'm not in the military, and I could be wrong.
Well, I have a friend who was Chief Master Petty Officer of the Coast Guard, and he went around recently talking to enlisted people, and they say, you know, I really don't have a problem with that.
All right, General. We appreciate you coming on. Thanks.